Right now, there are almost 13,000 vacant homes in Baltimore, and the city has an aggressive plan to bring that number down to zero. One developer knows the challenges firsthand after squatters took over 2 homes he owned and set them on fire.
WJZ investigator Mike Halgren is here in studio tonight, continuing our in-depth look at tackling the blight. And Mike, what did you find here?
Oh, Rick, Nikki, this plan to eliminate vacant homes in 15 years has plenty of challenges, including funding, fixing the red tape to get permits, and keeping these buildings secure while they're waiting to be rehabbed. One developer says the obstacles became too much for him.
It's almost dangerous standing here with you.
Daryl Brown used to own this home in the 1800 block of North Chester in East Baltimore, until he couldn't take it anymore.
I did everything right. This would have been a perfect home for somebody that could have enjoyed, warmth and security. But because of the red tape and the blockage from Baltimore City, I was forced to sell. Baltimore is an excellent investment.
What went wrong with this place?
What went wrong with this place was squatters.
Brown says they broke in and set the place on fire, and it's not the first time. Back in 2022, he bought a house in southwest Baltimore. It caught fire too, with a body inside. Federal investigators say Miguel Soto Diaz was tortured and held for ransom over a drug deal before being shot, and the home on Furrow Street in Carrollton Ridge set ablaze.
It was a murder, which psychologically kind of messed me up. It don't take a rocket scientist to see, okay, we got a problem with that, how can we fix it? As opposed to just settling and saying, okay, that's just a Baltimorean way. No, it's not. Baltimore is a great city, and we will come out of this. But we need the city to help us.
He remembers police telling him they could do nothing when the squatters moved in, and a judge denying his petition for a quick eviction. And he says he also became frustrated with the red tape of getting permits.
What would you say to the person who owns this now, the person who owns 325 Furrow?
Get out of it. It's right now it's like a sinking ship because I don't see nothing coming from the ashes.
Brown's troubles show some of the challenges as the city moves forward with an ambitious plan to eradicate vacant homes. They're focused on rehabbing entire blocks and getting community input, as the housing commissioner showed us at a rehab block in Upton.
It isn't, like I said, just about decreasing the number of vacants, but it really is about healing our communities and bringing that life back.
City Council member Odette Ramos has long worked to solve the vacant problem.
This is a great block. This is like my favorite block in the entire city. And people think I'm nuts because it's got vacant properties everywhere.
She took us to the 1600 block of Gorsuch, where many of the homes have been acquired by the city through an expedited foreclosure process that's been a game changer.
When the liens get higher than the value of the property, the city can foreclose, take possession, and work with the community on who they want to be able to sell the properties to. Instead of just rehabbing one here, one there, and one there, we have maximum impact on that block, which then spills over to other blocks. So it's a very, very important strategy.
Ramos has also pushed to revamp and streamline the permitting process, which often slows down development.
I can't tell you the number of times that I've had to intervene when somebody just hasn't heard back from the permit office. And then what happens is that there are tons of examples of when somebody who's rehabbing doesn't want to even deal with the permit office. So we get a rehabbed house like the one we're standing next to that has had no permits, which means they've had no inspections. And so anybody buying this property doesn't know that the health and safety standards have not been met. And so we want to avoid that at all costs.
The city just created Baltimore Fast, which coordinates the approval process across city agencies, and it can't come fast enough for those living next to the blight.
It damages their property value. They cannot get homeowners insurance, or the homeowners insurance is super high. This is a major crisis all over the city, and it's holding us back because we know that people actually want to move here. Despite what some people say, people want to move here, and we need to have the inventory for them, and people want houses like this.
Daryl Brown sees the potential, but for him, 2 fires is too many.
It's only by the grace of God that I'm not crazy about it. With all of the fires and the insurance and the fees that I had to pay, before I had hope. But they just watered down my hope. So you better off playing the lottery. at this point. I just asked for Baltimore City to start paying attention to Baltimoreans.
And we've seen other fires, including one earlier this month that started in a vacant home on North Fulton Avenue by a squatter and swept through 15 homes. Councilwoman Ramos says she's committed to reforming that permit process and last week held a hearing about the progress. Nikki and Rick.
All right, Mike, beyond frustrating, I've got to say. Thank you so much.